To introduce our next team, please welcome Al Robertson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege tonight to introduce to you the Hamiota Royals juvenile team of 1966. They won the provincial championships and the Western Canada championships and are being inducted into the special team category. First of all, in provincial play, Hamiota defeated the South End Sioux of Winnipeg 1-0 in 10 innings to earn the right to represent Manitoba at the Western Canada Championships in Regina. Rick Robinson, already a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame, threw a masterful 3-hit shutout and drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 10th, which gave Rick a great day. Then in the Western Canadian play in Regina, Hamiota picked up Lou Morrison of Souris and Mark Fisher of Riverside. Both are previous Hall of Famers. Kind of interesting that Mark played for Hamiota. That was hard to believe. Behind the pitching of Mark Fisher, the hitting of Rick Robinson, who hit a 3-run homer, and Lee Pollock, who hit a 2-run double, Hamiota defeated Red Deer 5-3 in the first game, and then lost to Regina in the second game of the round robin. They then played Red Deer in the semifinals, winning 9-5. The winning pitcher was once again Mark Fisher, and the top batter was Mel Smith, who went 5 for 6 at the plate. Mel's grand slam home run in the first extra inning was the winning blow in a 9-5 victory. Lou Morrison was the winning pitcher in the championship game, winning over Regina by a score of 13-2. Fisher hit 2 home runs and Mel Smith 1 to lead the offense. Don Coombs chipped in with 3 hits. In the tournament, defensively, the Royals were led by pitchers Lou Morrison, who had 1 win, and Mark Fisher with 2 wins. Offensively, the Royals were led by Mel Smith, who had an amazing 12 for 15 batting average during the tournament. He had 2 home runs, 4 triples, and 6 singles in 15 at-bats. He drove in 8 runs and scored 12. Rick Robinson was also very instrumental with his pitching and his hitting. The Royals lost only 2 games in the playoffs, 1 to Souris and 1 to Regina in the Western Canadians. It is now my pleasure to introduce the individual players of that team. Kind of interesting that I introduced most of the same players about 60 years ago at graduation in Hamiota Collegiate. Anyway, Bonnie Coombs is the one who did most of the background work on this team, and we do thank her for that. And now I will introduce the individual players to you. Dick Coombs. Don Coombs. Murray Matheson. Lou Morrison's trophy will be accepted by Bonnie Coombs. Rick Robinson's trophy will be accepted by Linda Matheson. Mel Smith's trophy accepted by son Curtis Smith. Dennis Sparling. Roger Stewart. Ellis Woods. And the coaches of that team, Nellie Woods And to accept his trophy was Sandra Cowling, his daughter, who is also the bat girl of that team. Glenn Stewart was the other coach, and trophies will be received by Brian Stewart and Janice Fortune, Glenn's daughter and son. Other members not here tonight: Mark Fisher, Earl Matheson, Lee Pollock, and Bill Thompson. And I just want to say one thing in conclusion. After they won the Western Canada Championships, apparently Rick Robinson, who is a bit of a character, spotted this guy and asked him if he would get them a case of beer because they weren't old enough. And apparently the guy said sure and took Rick's money, I don't know, $25 or $30 at the time. Apparently he was a very good runner, because the very last time they saw him, he was going down the street as hard as he could go, and they never did see their beer. Anyway, to respond to the presentation, Ellis Woods.
There's only like 3 or 4 pages, so don't worry about it. First question I want to know, if there's anybody out there from Hamiota or Hamiota area who knows who the hell the Hamiota Royals are. Because nobody up here does. Everybody assumes we're the Hamiota Red Sox, and as far as I know, that we still are. Anyway. I'd like to thank the Baseball Hall of Fame for this induction today. It's quite an honor for us. And to Bonnie Coons, back here, who did the nomination for us and did the majority of the legwork in getting us all together and keeping us informed as to what's going on. It's quite a chore. I'd also like to mention Joe Witcher. In the final game, we beat Joe's team, the Winnipeg South End Sioux, to go to Regina. Sorry, Joe. But congratulations on your nomination to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. The team was put together a bit of a ragtag team by Glenn Stewart, that's represented here by his kids, and by my dad, Nelson Woods. There was five players from Hamiota, 2 from Oak River, 2 from McConnell, if anybody knows where those places are, 1 from Lavinia, and 1 from Oakner. Probably one of the most famous baseball players ever to come out of Oakner. Not quite the only one, but one of the only ones, Mel Smith. A little bit of a background on that home run that Mel hit to win the top of the 10th, to win that tournament in Regina. We had the bases loaded. You heard it was a grand slam. My dad was coaching third base. He called for Mel to bunt. Now, for those who know Mel, you know he didn't take some directions very well. So he said, I can hit this guy, and the next one was in the parking lot in right field. I don't recall anybody saying 58 years, 58 years, come on, let's go guys, because in 58 years we're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know, all we did was we wanted to play ball. And this group of guys back here, who I enjoyed playing ball with most of my life, or against a couple of them. Anyway, we all got along well, and we put together a great weekend. Thank you again to the Baseball Hall of Fame, to our team here, and to anybody else that was associated with the Hamiota Royals. Thank you.
guys. Right up front. Right up front. Keep going up front. Up front. Up front.
Harder to pick up. You good? Hey. Down this way. Ready?